Elon Musk is known for his intelligence and sharp wit, which makes his comebacks hit even harder. Let's take a look at the times he shut down woke nonsense and put critics in their place. Sit back, grab some snacks, and enjoy the show.
Elon, you tweeted this thing about George Soros. You also you said he wants to erode the very fabric of civilization, and Soros hates humanity. Like, when you do something like that, do you
I think that's true. That's my opinion.
Okay, but why share it? Why share it? Especially, why share it when people who buy Teslas may not agree with you, advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you?
I mean, this is freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say what I want.
You absolutely are, but I'm trying to understand why you do, because you have to know it's got to hurt the company. Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position, and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man?
I don't care. I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
You gotta love it, man. Nothing can stop this guy. He just wants to make a great impact and won't let anything get in his way.
You've got to love it. Nothing can stop this guy. Elon Musk is all about making a great impact, and he won't let anything stand in his way. In this clip, he delivers a based response to woke companies that refuse to advertise on his platform.
The criticism, there was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself.
But
go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
how do you think then about the economics of X? Part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift. Maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising. What do you do?
F-Y.
I understand that, but there's a reality too.
It's wild that some people hate this guy when all he does is speak facts. Woke culture is creeping into video games, movies, and other things that should be left alone. It's getting out of hand.
Annoying when the video game gets interrupted by some DEI woke bullshit, and I'm like, Jesus, I was playing a video game here. Can you just leave the video games alone? You don't want to do things that damage art. So it breaks you.
Absolutely. People should be able to express themselves without fear of being silenced just because their views don't align with the mainstream narrative. Open discussion and debate are what keep society moving forward.
Do we want a humorless society that is simply rife with condemnation and hate, basically? At its heart, wokeness is divisive, exclusionary, and hateful. It basically gives mean people a reason. It gives them a shield to be mean and cruel, armored in false virtue.
We don't agree on this.
Yes, you want censorship and I don't.
No, I don't want censorship at
Yes,
all.
you do.
No, I want responsibility.
You want censorship so bad you can taste it.
No, that's not true. I think that there's right and wrong.
That's typically how the bullshit goes, you feel me?
When you have a platform that's as big as yours and as powerful as yours and as influential as yours, that there is a certain responsibility that goes along with what you have on your platform and what you put out to the world. I think that's important.
I think we have a responsibility to adhere to the law, and if people want the law changed, they should book their elected representative and get the law changed, and then we will adhere to the law. But if you want us to go beyond the law, that is us deciding to be censors. And I'm against censorship. I'm in favor of freedom of speech. And freedom of speech only is relevant when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has...
Exactly. When it comes to something as serious as flying a plane, skill and competence should be the only factors that matter. Nobody cares about a pilot's race or gender. They just want someone who knows how to fly the plane safely. Prioritizing identity over ability is just asking for trouble.
Do you believe that women and minority pilots are inherently less intelligent and less skilled than white male pilots?
No, I'm just saying that we should not lower the standards for them.
Okay, but there's no evidence that standards are being lowered when it comes to the airline industry.
You've repeatedly said that there's no evidence that standards are being lowered, and watch the replies showing all the evidence that it is.
Replies, though, on social media or on Twitter are not necessarily fact and evidence.
No,
That's
they will.
that's people's
They will
opinion.
cite.
Okay.
In the replies to this, you will see how often the information is cited, showing that indeed there are significant cases where standards are lowered. I believe at Boeing changed to include DEI as a fundamental executive incentive. In my view, it should be purely about passenger safety.
Okay, but do you understand how by saying just that standards are being lowered, that you're implying that they're being lowered because people are less skilled and less intelligent, and you're talking about people of color and or women?
Look, I'm saying we should not lower standards.
But you don't...
Yeah, it's crazy how careful you have to be these days just to avoid getting censored. You should be able to make the content you want without constantly worrying about what might get flagged. It's frustrating, but people still appreciate creators who keep it real.
What is the woke mind virus? And if we don't deal with this, nothing else can get done. Tell me why you think that.
Yeah, so I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech. Those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous. You can't question things. Even the questioning is bad. So, another way to almost synonymous would be cancel culture. And obviously, people have tried to cancel you many times.
Many times.
Yeah, I mean,
every week.
Yeah.
From left and right. I've had it from both sides.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. People, you and I are both like in that little group of people, maybe it's a bigger group now,
yeah,
who are called conservative, who haven't really changed. I don't think of you as a conservative.
I'm definitely, yeah, like, I at least think of myself as a moderate, so, I mean, at least, I've spent a massive amount of my life energy building sustainable energy, electric vehicles and batteries and solar and stuff to help save the environment. That's not a,
It's the classic double standard. They dish it out, but can't take it. The moment they get called out or put on the spot, they suddenly play dumb or act like it's not their problem. It's honestly embarrassing to watch.
I'm literally asking you about, you changed the labels, the COVID misinformation labels. There used to be a policy, and then it disappeared. Why do that?
Well, it is no longer an issue. Does the BBC hold itself at all responsible for misinformation regarding masking and side effects of vaccines, and not reporting on that at all? And what about the fact that the BBC was put under pressure by the British government to change its editorial policy? Are you aware of that?
This is not an interview about the BBC.
Oh, you thought it wasn't?
And I see now why you've done Twitter Spaces. I am not a representative of the BBC's editorial policy. I want to make that clear.
Get out of here, man.
Big ups to Elon for handling that nonsense like a boss. It's simple. He believes in free speech, and if advertisers don't want to be part of an open platform, that's their loss. He's not going to bend over just to please them.
Because all this controversy, I believe, as you know, has made X less appealing to advertisers. About half of them have left the platform. You call advertisers that left X.com. You said they were oppressors. You've even gone as far as saying it publicly that they can go F themselves or go F themselves.
If they're going to force censorship on the company before advertising, then obviously I find that unacceptable.
You find it unacceptable. Why is that not a form of free speech? They are free to advertise where they want. They're not beholden to, they're not obligated to advertise.
They're not obligated.
On X.com.
Right.
So how is that not free speech?
Whereas the other platforms will censor on behalf of advertisers, the X platform will not.
Okay. So, but you think you don't think it's okay for them not to advertise with or have their content or their advertisement next to something that is anti-Semitic or...
That is a different question. You can absolutely choose where, next to which content do you want your advertising to appear. Absolutely, of course. And we have, I think, very good ad placement controls in this regard.
Yeah. So you said if they kill the company, it's them. But doesn't the buck stop with you? I mean, you're...
Don, I have to say, choose your question carefully. There's 5 minutes left.
Okay, but so...
Is this the question you want to ask?
The same question is, you said that they are killing the company, but you're the head of the company. The buck doesn't stop with you?
I acquired X in order to preserve freedom of speech in America, the First Amendment. and I'm going to stick to that. And if that means making less money, so...
I hear you. Taxes are necessary, but when they're taken to an extreme and spent on things people don't even support, it's frustrating. It's not just about paying your fair share, it's about where that money goes. A lot of people feel like they have no say in how their hard-earned cash is being used, and that's the real issue.
Everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Well, not everyone was a slave.
No, everyone was a slave.
Okay, but...
No, all descended from slaves.
Yeah.
Well, all of us.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because the color of your skin.
What advantages did my color of my skin give me?
Well, there's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't.
If we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away.
Exactly. Woke culture has way too much influence right now, and Elon is spot on for calling it out. If you agree and enjoy the content, check out more videos on screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you.
You get taxed on what you own, you get taxed on what you buy, and you get taxed on what you own. And it's like, okay, this is, you know, taxes, 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 and you know, and then what does it get spent on? A bunch of the stuff it gets spent on you don't even agree with. So you know that's why we need to reduce the size of government and just spend less money and you know, let the people keep a lot more of their hard-earned money. You know, it's yeah.
No, like wokeness basically wants to make comedy illegal. Which is not cool.
We've experienced a bit of that.
I mean, Chappelle, like what the...
Flower bed.
I mean, try to shut down Chappelle? Come on, man. That's crazy.